Yo, what is going on, guys? Digirex here, and today I'm coming at you with a brand new video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a older game, Borderlands 2. So, if you haven't played Borderlands 2, you've probably heard of the title before if you're familiar with video games. Borderlands is a huge series. Borderlands 2 in particular is a little bit older, but it is still a great game, and that is why I'm doing a video on it. So, a lot of people have been disappointed with Destiny 2, just with what they did with the Destiny title and all that. The people who love looter shooters really don't have much to play right now. I know the Division got a few updates, and I am going to be doing a video on that. But the main thing, Destiny 2 was a little bit of a failure, which is unfortunate. There's just not enough to grind for. It's not rewarding enough. There's just not as many cool features as there were in Destiny 1, which is really unfortunate because a lot of people were looking forward to it. But here is a game that will replace your need for Destiny 2. This will satisfy your hunger for loot 'em and shoot 'em games. Borderlands 2 is a loot 'em shooting game, came out in 2012. There is a Borderlands 1 and the Borderlands pre-sequel, although Borderlands 2 is probably the best one. And there is a ton of content in the game, and you can get the Game of the Year edition with all the DLC if you like it even more, or you could just try out the regular version of the game and then get the DLC later down the road if you want it. But Borderlands is a loot-driven game that also has a really good story. Destiny, honestly, I know they were going for the story stuff, but it honestly wasn't that interesting. But Borderlands has a ton of unique, funny, hilarious characters. It's got a ton of good humor. The story is pretty good. It's got a good bad guy. So if you guys are looking for story in games like this, then the story is really good. There's a lot of cool moments that you play through. Most of the cutscenes aren't actually cutscenes. You're playing through these cutscene-like events in the game, which is absolutely sick. It's an older game, so it's not too hard to run. I personally have played it on PC, and I think the PC version is superior, but if you guys have consoles, this should run just fine, and the graphics should still be great. It is a little bit of an older game. You could even play it on 360 if you want, which is another plus, because if you have a 360, you don't have any next-gen consoles or a good enough PC to buy Destiny 2, you can still play this game, so that is another plus. And honestly, there is a ton of loot in this game. There's a ton of ranking up, there's a ton of character customization. It is amazing. And there are 6 different classes, 2 of which are DLC. The Psycho and Necromancer are DLC, and then there's 4 other classes, the Commando, the Assassin, the Siren, and the Gunzerker. And each has their own special ability, kind of like a super, although you get it a lot more often than a super. And then each has 3 skill trees that you can use, and basically, these skill trees have a bunch of different abilities for your character, and you unlock skill points to upgrade these skill trees as you level up. The max level is 72, and it takes quite a while to get to 72. I'm showing you guys a little bit of earlier gameplay right now, because I don't want to show you guys too much later stuff, because the later stuff does get quite insane. But the early game is really fun too, just starting to get to know your character, starting to look at the skill trees, starting to look at what you want to spec out for your character. You can look up guides for your skill trees if you want to. Personally, I think it's a little bit fun to make your own build, but there are definitely some OP builds out there that I've tried, which is pretty sick. And Borderlands has a ton of different weapons. There's shields, which Destiny players will be familiar with. But there's a bunch of different weapons. There's rocket launchers, snipers, rifles, SMGs, pistols, and all these are really unique. Pretty much every gun you get is sort of unique. Even at the lower levels, every gun feels like an exotic. There's a lot of cool perks, a lot of cool gun stats, so if you guys like grinding for the best guns, this is definitely the game for you, because the end game is all about grinding guns and getting the best build for your character. So there's no PvP mode, which is unfortunate, but a game like this doesn't need a PvP mode. It's all about that grind for that loot, which is why everybody plays it, because the loot is just so good in this game. You can customize your character. There's skins, and then there's heads also for your character that you unlock through playing, which is pretty sick. And then, of course, you customize it through the weapons you put on. There's a bunch of different loot that Destiny players won't be familiar with, like your own shield customization, grenade mods, which are all super sick. There's a bunch of different things you can make your grenade do, whether it's cluster bombs or an incendiary grenade or whatever, tracking grenade, and the weapons just have so many good perks. So the loot is absolutely insane in this game. The story is really, really good. And honestly, there's a large amount of enemies. There's so many different types of enemies in this game. So many different, I don't want to call them races, but there's a lot of different factions, a lot of different types of enemies. There's just some crazy shit. Each class feels unique with its own set of skill trees. Much more unique than the classes feel in Destiny 2, since they definitely dumbed down the subclasses from Destiny 1. But all these skill trees are super unique. There's a ton of different builds you can do for each character, ranging from super fun builds to insanely overpower builds that you can do. And there is a ton of side missions. So you will like literally never ever run out of freaking missions to do. Well, you will eventually, especially if you grind the game like I've been doing, but there's a ton of missions. And there is a social space called the Sanctuary. It's basically a city. It's kind of like your tower. There's vendors there. You can pick up quests there, stuff like that. It's kind of where it's kind of the heart of the story also. So yeah, guys, honestly, that is the basis of Borderlands. Super nice story, super epic moments, super good loot, cool characters, and an awesome skill tree for each character. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely try out Borderlands. Another good thing is that it's not full price since it's so much older, especially on like the 360. You can get it for pretty cheap. But if you guys do have a PC, make sure you check the system requirements before you buy it. But if you have a PC, I would definitely recommend buying it on PC, just because it looks so dang good on the PC. The graphics aren't half bad. They do, the first time you look at the graphics, it is a little bit weird to look at since everything kind of has that black outline. It's just kind of the style Borderlands does it. But after looking at it for a while, you get used to it and you start to like it. But that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, subscribe for more Fortnite, Destiny, Overwatch videos like that, and any other videos I might be doing such as this. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been Drex. Peace.